Good morning or good afternoon, based on the time. My name is Arizisha Chaudhary, and today I'd like to talk about math's contribution in healthcare. So let's start. Math in healthcare. Use math to save lives. Now, before we get on to the details, since it's a global competition, first let's talk about how this has an impact on a global level. Mathematics forms the foundation or the basis of a modern healthcare, enabling smarter, faster, and more accessible medical care for us all. It also supports our Sustainable Development Goals or SDG in several key ways, such as like it improves the healthcare sector planning, which contributes to achieving the third SDG. So then we also it also create job opportunities in health and tech fields because in modern health we use a lot of technologies, and that leads towards achieving the eighth SDG. Okay, so then we also have it supports equal access to quality healthcare, which contributes to achieving the 10th SDG, reduce inequalities. Then it also enables new and innovative medical tools and technologies, contributes to achieving the ninth SDG, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. However, it also has an impact on a few other SDGs. For example, it contributes towards the eighth SDG, decent work and economic growth, by employing more people in health and tech fields. It also contributes to achieving the first SDG because the less unemployed people there are, the less poverty, and the less poverty, the less hunger. So mathematics plays a crucial role through healthcare in and has a impact on a global level. Now let's see them in details. Math helps in various sectors of healthcare, including medicines, surgery and recovery, imaging signals and smart medical device, understanding emotions, behavior, and mental health. That's like psychology, psychometrics. Then it also helps in sorting and analyzing the data, and the topic is health records, data, and decision tools. Now let's look at each of them in details. Number one, medicines. If we look towards the perspective of how math contributes in medicine, there are three key points: drug development, dosing infusion, and we have genetic matching. Now let's start with drug development. Drug development can be separated into two major points: pharmacokinetics or pharmacodynamics. Pharmacokinetics is basically the study of how the drug interacts with the body, and pharmacodynamics is the study of how the body interacts with drugs. So, in pharmacokinetics, we use differential equations to model ADME processes. Now, some of you might not be familiar with the term ADME. The term ADME, or the acronym ADME, stands for absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. They're the four main pillars of pharmacokinetics. And also in pharmacodynamics, nonlinear models are used to map the drug concentration to effect, which is like calculating how the drug will affect the body. And then there's dosing and infusion, or we could call it drugs intake. So when calculating dosages, we use algebraic formulas in rate calculations. For example, dose equals to mg by kg times body weight. Unit conversions are also used for different units of dosages, since dosages comes with teaspoons, tablespoons, mls, ls, also the solid ones or the powdered ones comes with milligrams, grams, or kilograms. Then we have the genetic matching. So some of you might be similar with it. It's also known as pharmacogenomics. It's when the dose is adjusted, is personalized based on the patient's genetic profile. It's usually used in the sectors of oncology, which is basically cancer care, psychiatry, mental health care, and cardiology heart care. Now, like when it is being done with probability models to relate genetic markers to drug response and to estimate the likelihood of side effects. Now let's go to the next point. Surgery and recovery. In surgery and recovery, in the same way, if you want to look through the perspective of how math contribute on this side, there's four key points: surgical planning, robotic surgery, anesthesia, and recovery monitoring. Surgical planning. Surgical planning is like when we plan before and on how to do the surgery and what to do. So in that case, we use 3D geometry, recreate the condition, and understand where and how much to adjust bones or tissues during the surgery. Robotic surgery. Now, it's there are two types of surgeries: the manual one, which is done by human doctors, and the robotic surgery, where doctors operate the robots from a different room during the surgery. Now, robotic surgery is used when we require deadly accuracy and precision, which is not possible with human hands. So, like when the doctors control the robots, using the robot hands, we use linear algebra and coordinate geometry to calculate how the robot's joints and arms should move to reach exact positions inside the body. Then we have anesthesia. Now, before surgery, the patients are given anesthesia to numb some of their body parts on where surgery will happen. So in those cases, we use some drug level models to predict how the anesthetic drugs will move through the body and wear off over time. Then with the recovery monitoring, so like after surgery, patients are usually put on the close observation for at least a few days to detect for any new problems and changes in vital. So over there with statistic and data analysis to identify patterns and changes in vital signs and movement. Let's go to the next point. Imaging signals in smart medical device. If you want to separate it into like few topics, there are like four key points: diagnostic imaging, MRI, CT, ultrasound, lab tests and biological signals, smart medical devices, and radiation therapy. Now wait, let's move this over here. Now for diagnostic imaging, MRI, CT, ultrasound. Like when we do diagnostic imaging, signal processing math is used to change the data we receive into images. Then we use linear algebra to combine the flat images to create a 3D model or hologram. Now, signal processing math comes from the branches of algebra and calculus. Let's look into the second one: lab tests and biological signals. Statistical comparison is used to measure the results against a normal range. Also, signal processing math is used to remove noise from biological signals to reveal meaningful patterns. So now over here, after we do lab tests, like we use statistical comparison to like compare the result with the normal range of how the result should be, and if the result is not close to the normal range, that means the result will come positive for whatever disease we try to test during those lab tests. And signal processing math is again used over here to remove the noises from the signals we receive to uncover the meaningful patterns hidden behind. The smart medical device. Those devices are autonomous, which means they can adjust automatically on their own to the body's needs. So equations are used in control system to change output in real time. Then with radiation therapy, it's mainly used as a replacement for surgery on cancers because like some cancers so delicate, harmless surgery is not possible. So in those cases, doctors suggest radiation therapy, which is where we use radiation to decrease the cancer tumor. So over there we use 3D geometry to find the beam angles and positions of the radiation. Then we use optimization math to choose the best beam strengths to protect the healthy tissue as well as treat the cancer tumor. Let's go to the next point. Since nowadays mental health is a big issue and like one of the most important conversation points, let's also see how math contribute to this essential topic. Understanding emotion behavior and mental health. If we look into the perspective of how math contributes here, the two main points: mental health questionnaires and predicting crisis risk. Let's look at mental questionnaires. Psychiatry, the mental health questionnaires are used to test someone's psychology and look for any signs of psychological disorder. So over there, we statistical models to test the question's reliability and the patient scoring accuracy. So then we are predicting crisis risks. So after we get the results from mental health questionnaires, we use smart algorithms which uses math like statistics and linear algebra to detect warning patterns in speech, text, and behavior. Now, if they find in a warning pattern, the patient is suggested to go for a psychological check-in by the doctors, obviously. Not only does math contribute towards the healthcare part, it also contributes to the data collection and analysis part of healthcare. Health records data and decision tools. There are two main points. Finding insights in health records, which is basically analyzing them and looking for patterns, and also the clinical decision support tool. Now let's look for finding insights in health records. We use like statistics and classifications to sort the different patient data with similar symptoms and treatment outcomes so that it reveals a trend or pattern hidden behind. Then we also have clinical decision support tools. Mathematical formulas are used to calculate the patient's risks in different operations or tests. In light of new results, the probabilities are also adjusted. Now, that's all for today. But remember, embrace math to endure and enhance life. So long. Thank you. Bye.